A material resource represents tangible items used up by the project, like gallons of gas, reams of paper, cubic yards of concrete, or bottles of wine for the new office open house. Material resources don't have a regular time component like work resources. They can sit around waiting until they're needed. So you can skip several fields that you fill in for work resources. To create a material resource, start on the resource sheet. The entry table that appears has all the fields you need to set up material resources. As you do for work resources, click the first blank resource name cell and type the name of the material resource, like wine for that open house. When you press enter, Project automatically fills in work in the type cell. So click that cell, click the down arrow, and choose material. When you do that, the material cell becomes active, while Project empties a few other fields like maximum units, overtime rate, and base calendar. Material resources mostly don't go by units of time, and that's why the standard rate cells for material resources have just the dollar value without a slash and a time period. That's also why the material label field becomes active. That's where you define the units of measurement for a material resource. For example, if you buy wine by the gallon for the open house, type gallons in the material label field. To set the cost per unit, type the number in the standard rate field. For example, 6 for the $6 gallon bottle of fine red wine you're serving. Material resources do have one time-related trick. Suppose that a task consumes materials depending on how much time passes. For example, gallons of gas when you're driving somewhere, or gallons of wine if the open house runs longer than you had planned. You can set up an assignment for a material resource so its consumption depends on the task duration. The trick is to add the /hour to the units field of the assignment. To see how this works on a task assignment, click the View tab and choose Gantt chart. Select the open house task. To display the task form, turn on the Details checkbox. In the task form, select the resource name cell and add wine to the task. In the units cell, type 6, / and then HR for hours. Click OK to finish the assignment. Project changes the value in the cell to 6 gallons per hour. If you right-click and display cost, you can see that the cost is $144. That's the 6 gallons per hour times 4 hours for a total of $144. Now back on the resource sheet, you can also fill in the initials field with an abbreviation for the material resource name. And if you want to group material resources, you can fill in the group field or simply leave this field blank. You'll learn about filling in the cost fields in more detail in a later movie. Creating material resources is similar to creating work resources. But you don't have to fill in as many fields because material resources don't depend on time the way work resources do.